And we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. We just opened up the show. We're talking about the national championship football game. Congratulations again to Alabama. I asked the question, do you really think that Nick Saban just took a chance on this freshman? Just let's see what happens. Let's see how Georgia reacts. Let's see how it spreads out the field. Let's see if we find any holes in their defense. I don't think he just took a wild chance to see what happens. He's Nick Saban. Anyhow, okay, so the left is on a daily basis. They have an attempt. They try something every single day. There's never a day passes that they don't try something. Now, the Michael Wolff book, okay, Fire and Fury, okay, we talked about that yesterday. He's off the front page right now. Okay, Bannon's trying to apologize. We talked about that yesterday. He's off the front page for now. But here is the thing. The other night, and this is actually humorous, and you'd have to understand, Oprah Winfrey. Now, you don't know Uncle Jimmy. And I'll just leave it at that, Uncle Jimmy. Back in the 80s, in the 90s, all right, late 80s and 90s, my uncle told all of us that Oprah Winfrey was the most dangerous woman in the world. Most dangerous woman. Kept on and on. Would not shut up. You will see. And we actually used to make fun of Jimmy. We used to make fun of him. Okay? We used to make fun of him about him going on and on about Oprah Winfrey. And now when we get together, we got to say, oh my God, Jimmy was right all along. We laugh about that. The left, since the award show and her speech, the left are just all over themselves, gushing, okay, that they're just gushing that Oprah Winfrey could run for president of the United States. So what do you think about Oprah running for president? My thought is where Donald Trump's concerned, okay? I want to take things serious, but it's like, do you realize the guy made a fortune with NBC in a reality TV show, okay? So this guy is so crazy, and they have a psychiatrist out of Harvard. Is it Harvard or Yale? I forget the psychiatrist that is meeting with. There's a psychiatrist that's actually meeting with Democrats, 14 or 16 Democrats, you can Google it, to discuss Trump's mental capacity, whether he's fit to serve, okay? So this guy not created reality TV, but he created reality TV, okay, that NBC, right, The Apprentice, he makes an enormous amount of money, an enormous amount. A #1 show for several years that people wanted to watch every week, The Boardroom. And so then he runs for president of the United States. Do you not feel there's days that we're living in reality TV and Donald Trump's starring in it? I mean, Donald Trump is the star of a reality TV show. It's called, the first season was called Primary. And we got about 2 seasons out of the primary that we watched the Donald Trump reality show, okay? The third season was, maybe 2 more seasons we got out of the general election. Okay, then we got a season of the Donald Trump reality show as the president-elect, the transition team. I mean, coming this season, the Trump Tower and the Golden Elevator, who's going up and down the Golden Elevator? Who is the guest for today's show? Who's the guest stars on today's show? Okay, the camera's set up, everything's ready to go. So then we have the inauguration, then we have the first 100 days. This guy in a year has already taped about 6 seasons of the Trump reality show as president of the United States. Whether you like it or not, the media can't get enough. The guy sends out a tweet, and the whole day, this commands, Donald Trump commands the TV to call in, CNN, MSNBC, to call in an entire group of professionals to analyze a tweet, okay? So he said yesterday with the farmers, he said, don't forget, at real Donald Trump. And they applauded, and he said, you probably already know, at real Donald Trump. That's how I go around the fake media. And the farmers applauded, okay? Now, that being said, Oprah Winfrey is part of the reality show. They keep bringing in special guests on the reality show. This is my opinion, okay? It's interesting what we have been trained to focus on and do on a daily basis. So, you know, now we have the book. It's another part of the reality show. It was just what we have parts of the reality show. It's like the House of Cards part where Hillary's under investigation and Trump's under investigation for Russia. I mean, coming next season, will the Russia investigation continue? All right, seriously, will Comey be prosecuted for leaking things to the New York Times? Will Peter Strzok and Lisa, I forget her name, the attorney at the FBI, will they be prosecuted for leaking stories out and then discussing how they're going to let their friends know that the story, this is Peter Strzok, the FBI investigator, okay? So let's just say this. So my opinion with Oprah Winfrey is just part of the reality show. I don't know if she will run. Unless, I'm saying this, unless there's a major catastrophe, I hate to put it that way, something is really bad in this country happening. And it really has to be financially. Because financially is how people feel when they go vote. How do they feel when they go vote? If they had enough money to buy gas to get to the polls, if they got enough money to buy groceries on the way home, and they got enough money to take their kids out for ice cream, you may think that's silly. Donald Trump, they vote different. If you have to struggle to pay your last $10 to go to work, to get gas, and then go, you think it out, or you can't find work. Anyhow, that moving on. Unless, this is my opinion, I'm going to go out on it now, unless the President of the United States and something disastrous happens, the American people will not want to miss the next 4 years. They will renew his contract on the Trump reality show. I'm telling you, I think he can get 8 seasons or I think he can get 8 years out of the Trump reality show, and we can get a great economy out of it. I'm just telling you, I don't see the American people wanting, when he gets back on the campaign trail, like yesterday, he was in Tennessee. When he goes out, he has not lost his step, okay? People like this guy, whether you think so or not. Rural America, Democrats are still trying to figure out what rural means, where it's at. How do you get there? Is there a map? Can you GPS? Give me the address to rural America and we'll put it in our GPS. Okay? I'm serious. Watch and see. When he gets out there, he does very well. People still like him. Don't worry about the 38% that he can't crack that they talk about every single day. So, I, for one, do not feel concerned that Oprah Winfrey is the big talk of the day, and can he run, will she run for president? I would rather the news talk to you about DACA, okay? Why? Now, these are the questions I want to put out this morning, trying to keep it low, trying to keep it down, because I know it's Hangover Tuesday, and everybody's getting back You know, everybody, I noticed last night on social media, I kept watching everybody post on social media. I think I'm going to be late in the morning. I hope they understand. 7 o'clock comes early. I hope I can make it. So we know we're getting it back together here in the South, moving a little slow this morning. Why are we not talking about DACA? I want to know how you feel, the dreamers. Why is the southern border of this country, and are they 900,000 or 700,000 dreamers? Why are 900,000, what do we have? I'm just doing some numbers this morning. 300 million in America? I don't know. Why out of 300 million Americans, if that's what we have, are 900,000 deciding our spending bill? Will the Democrats shut down the government? What are we trying to work out? Now, the President of the United States has invited everybody up today to give their opinion on immigration. Now, Donald Trump will do something on immigration. You will see, we're going to see how well you like what he does. But he will do something. The immigration issue is about to be solved, whether we like it or not, whether we approve of what they do. What do you think about DACA and the Dreamers? What do you think about all the years that you have played by the rules? Okay? Now, I understand some of these children were brought here when they were 3, brought here when they were 6. They didn't understand where they were going when they left that day in Mexico, and they ended up in Gwinnett County. They ended up in your county. They ended up right down the street from you, and then they ended up in your school, and you're paying for it. I understand that. I understand there's the no fault of their own. Are they here? Okay, no fault of their own. Well, you get mad or not. You got a 3-year-old that came in this country, a 4-year-old. They went to your school. They were 4 years old, so they started at your school at 5 or 4, all the way through high school. Your kids graduated with them. So you got a problem, folks. Your kids graduated with them. If you go ask your children, what do you think of this young lady or this young man that just graduated with you or is in your senior class now? They think that this person should get treated like them, and they support these people. Now, little do they know the whole entire situation, that it actually costs money because they're not into earning money at this time. But I'm telling you, you have generations that feel, hey, we need to just do something for them and move on because they didn't do anything. Went to school with them my whole life. I'm in college with these kids. I mean, I've been in the 3rd grade with this kid, grew up with this kid. I'm going to college with this kid. This is my friend, okay? We go to Starbucks, whatever. I'm just telling you, all right? DACA. What are we going to do with it? Why is it tied to the spending bill? And how come there's not as much talk about cutting debt for 300 million Americans, if that's how many we are out here today we represent? Why are they not talking about cutting the deficit, cutting the debt, cutting the budget, and getting our financial house in order for 300 million instead of what can we do for 900,000 that we've already spent an enormous amount of money on? I don't know. Hey, I'm your host, BKP. We're going to come right back. We're going to look at a couple more things. North and South Korea sat down yesterday and talked about the North Korean bobsled team or something for the Olympics. We're going to talk about that. And don't forget, down under the Gold Dome in Atlanta session, the 2018 session has started. But I think it's going to be a slow day, a quiet day. But we interviewed Jeff Jones, a Republican from Georgia District 167, to talk about driver's license for illegals in the state of Georgia. And we're going to have that interview later today. I'm your host, BKP. Let's go to break, Sam.